Alright then. This is not one of my stupid accents. Um, I've mentioned on my profile that I enjoy writing stories. I thought I would read a little bit of one of my newer ones. So it's still unfinished. Grammar check has not been gone through, and words still need to be changed. It's basically the storyline. But in case you're interested, it's the story of two feuding brothers in medieval time. They have no last names. It's just King Dave and King Pete. Um, Here's the first bit. Ouch. Of the story. Bear with me, cause I might mess up on the wording just reading it. Alright. Down the old forest trail waited the ambush. A man known by the name of John the Swift was riding as fast as possible, trying to reach the castle of his king. There's a mistake right there. Never mind. Let me start over. Down the old forest trail waited the ambush. A man known as John the Swift was riding as fast as possible, trying to reach the castle of his king, known to his people, known as King Dave. John was carrying a very important message for the king. John had been sent out with his best friends, Chester and Jack. Both were killed on the journey. The forest started to clear, and John could see the castle in the distance. The men in the trees jumped John and tried to tie him up. John was quick and got away and started to run down the trail. The attackers were not happy about that. They began to shoot arrows at John. John took a hit in the side but just kept running. With his horse dead, he knew he would have to hurry before he bled out. It took John 5 hours to reach the walls of the castle. John yelled at the guard at the top of the gate, "Please, you must let me in. I have an important message for King Dave." The door swung open and John rushed in, fast as he could. He ran towards the throne room. King Dave sat in his throne with his hand covering his face. "Your Majesty, I bring you information on the movements of your brother's forces." With that, John pulled out the letter and fell to the ground, dead. King Dave looked at John. King Dave closed his eyes and tried to find a happy place. None could be found. How many people must die? King Dave pointed at a guard in the corner of the throne room. "Take this man's body and have it sent back to his family in the village. Make sure he gets cleaned up and put in a fine suit of silk." With the body removed, King Dave picked up the letter on the ground, hesitated to open it. King Dave took a deep breath and opened the letter. "Your brother, King Pete, has been moving through the country without pause. All villages have been taken over as if nothing. King Pete uses fear to keep all villagers inside their homes, so a rebellion is not an option. The army should be at the keep in 3 days. With the size of King Pete's armies, I would suggest that you abandon the keep and village and find a place to hide in the mountains." King Dave could not imagine surrendering the keep without a fight. He also knew that his brother would chase him to the end of the world just to get at what he wanted. King Dave did not have time to sit there in his throne room with his guards staring at him. "I need all of you to stand out the door. I need a moment to think by myself." The guards did as was told and went to stand outside the door of the throne room. With the last guard closing the door, King Dave relaxed. There was no way of running if the army of his brother was so close. He and his villagers would not get very far. King Dave finally came to a decision. He would stay with a handful of men and send the rest to defend the village. King Dave stood and walked over to the door. He swung the door open and has his orders to his guards to spread the word of his plan. The guards did as they were told and ran off. King Dave did not have much time to repair. He went to his quarters and pulled the candle next to his bookcase. The bookcase slid off to the side, and a wooden door was exposed. King Dave opened the door and found the item that his brother was after. It was the sword that his grandfather once carried. Within its handle held an important document entrusted to King Dave. Oops. King Dave had never laid eyes on the document, as was his grandfather's wishes. Along with the document, the sword contained a powerful gem that held a drop of blood of the dragon that the King Dave's grandfather killed many years ago. It gave the user the ability to live for an incredibly long time. King Dave sheathed his weapon and went out to help his men move to the village. King Dave took with him as many important paintings and documents to the village and hid them. Once back from the village, King Dave checked his defenses, and which he found to be insufficient. Only one catapult was operational. Even with his low number of men, he did not have enough bows to go around. The moat was only half done and not filled with water. The outer wall had been struck by lightning 3 days ago, and the repair was not completed. King Dave and his men could right now. Let's start that sentence again. King Dave and his men could do right now was to fix what they could and get ready to face the might of King Pete's army. Alright, let's stop there for now.